Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Stronger, Healthier, and Happier, the official podcast of Hill Family Chiropractic. I'm your host, Michael, and with me is Dr. Jared Hill, CEO, founder of Hill Family Chiropractic, and of course, a chiropractor. How's it going, Dr. Jared?
Good. How you
Good.
doing?
I called you Dr. Jared. I usually call you Dr. Hill. Felt a little strange, but we're going to go with it.
That's good. You can call me whatever.
I don't know if I've always
don't call
called
me whatever, but you know.
No, I won't. I think I don't know if I've always called you Dr. Hill or if I used to call you Dr. Jared more. I don't know.
No, I think that was probably one of the first.
That may have been.
Yeah, that's good. It felt right.
It is what it is. Just not Jared.
Why not?
I don't know. It just feels weird.
Okay.
You know, we've been at your house like playing cornhole, and I'm still like, Dr. Hill? I can't help it at work or not. Anyway,
It's good. It's all good.
Yeah. So we're back for another episode. This one's going to be a little different. I'm excited. It's kind of the first of one of the ones where we're just kind of doing whatever we want and having a good time with it. And so we're going to look at some products that are meant to help with relief of certain back pain and things like that chiropractic relieves.
You've been excited about this one.
I've been planning this for a while.
Yeah.
And so I finally pulled the trigger. We're doing it today. And I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be funny. And I also think this is one that if you're listening to this right now on the podcast, great. That's awesome. But you're going to want to watch this because we're going to do our best to describe what we're looking at here. But you can find us on YouTube, Hill Family Chiropractic, and on Facebook, Hill Family Chiropractic. The videos of this episode will be available on the same day the audio is, so you can go check it out there and kind of see what we're working with here. But again, some of these, it won't maybe do it justice explaining it. But we have some products that I'll just tell you a story. So
Go for it.
Since I started working at Hill Family Chiropractic, I've done a lot of searching and looking up things about chiropractic and how chiropractic is beneficial and helpful for us. I've done a lot of looking to see about different products and things that we can use to like benefit and strengthen your spine and your muscles and that sort of thing, just as part of the job and as part of just extra research.
Is this on
to
your
be
time
knowledgeable.
or my time?
Both, actually. It depends on what the situation is. Sometimes I have a patient contact us and say, hey, I'm looking at this thing. Should I get one? You know, and we usually say, I think the thing we sell in the office might be a little better of an idea just because it's going to be a higher quality, whatever. But
over the years, there has been a couple things the patients have shown me, and I really like it too.
Yeah, that's all. And so we're always open to that, of course. But the moral of this story is the internet did what the internet does best, and it gathered all that data, what I've been looking for and looking at, and it started feeding me unsolicited recommendations of products like this. So I started seeing lumbar support items and cervical neck extension items and all these versions, cheap versions of things we recommend and prescribe to patients here in our office, things that you guys do, the doctors. And it triggered something. I said, I wonder what Dr. Hill would think of some of these things. So here's what I did. I didn't buy any of those online because even though they are cheap, they're basically what I have here with us today, but they're upcharged quite a bit. So I went to a local store here that you may have something. It's like a dollar store, but it's called Five Below. Uh-huh. You know, so everything's $5. Everything in the main section's around $5 or less, and then they have like the Five and Beyond in the back side of the section. I only stayed in the Five Below area. Each of these products I'm going to show you were $5 each.
I can tell.
Okay. Yeah, he's already taken a look at it, tried them out. And so I just wanted Dr. Hill to look at these products and tell me, number one, here's what we're going to assess them. Number one, would they be beneficial at all, period?
Okay, yeah.
Like if it's this or nothing, what's better? Because nothing might be better because it could be it could be harmful. We don't know.
Right.
Number two, or the one thing might be actually the same as nothing, but we'll talk about it. So is it better than nothing? Number two, why is something like what we sell in our office better than this? Like, what is it about this that's just not as good as what we sell? And number three, what would you pay for this item?
Wow.
We already paid $5, but is it even worth the $5 is the question.
Can you get your money back?
I don't know. I'll find out. I don't know what Five Below's return policy is. I have the receipt right here. I don't know. It says, please retain for your records. So It says I can only exchange unopened products, so
Okay.
I couldn't review them unopened.
That's right. We can give it as a giveaway.
We'll give it. Never use this. We
Just
do
kidding.
not want to use this, and then give it to our team members as a bonus or
There you
something
go.
into the quarter.
Can't give it to our patients, but
Yeah, we could use them
Okay.
in house. Okay, so the first one I want to look at is right in front of us already. You can't see it yet, but it's this. So here you go. First of all, we may have to back up a little bit to kind of move with this, but first of all, this item, yeah, there you go. It is a multi-level back stretcher is what they call it, a multi-level back stretcher.
Looks nice.
And it does. It looks pretty nice. When I took it out of the package about a half hour ago, and I started messing with it, and I'll just tell you, I've done a lot of product reviews. In my previous life, I did a lot of tech reviews on YouTube and stuff like that. So I have experience with like unboxing, and some of the things you look for are, what's the packaging like?
Uh-huh.
How easy is it to assemble and put together? How easy is it to use once you have it put together? And that you kind of rate it based on that. Step one, the packaging is this box and nothing else. It wasn't in plastic. There was no foam. There are no instructions. There is instructions right here. Care instructions. Wipe with a clean cloth. So thank you for that.
I like how it has a textured surface for gentle massage.
Yeah, see right here?
That's nice.
These pokies, gentle.
Gentle.
And then this thing, let me show you this, first of all. The cushion down the middle, it just was in here like this in the box, right?
Yeah.
And no instructions, so I was like, what am I supposed to do? And then I assumed that we shoved the cushion middle thing, which this says foam center helps protect the spine. So I'm looking at the foam center. Could you explain to the listening only audience like what this thing looks like?
Oh, wow.
Can you do that while I try to put this back together?
Boy, for the listening audience. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
they can't see it.
so you've got about I'm estimating a 20-inch by 6-inch rectangular object that has a little fold or a bend in the middle that's adjustable, so that you can, I'm assuming by the picture and things like that, it's to stretch the spine, meaning like, which one thing I do get, I see that there's a lot of people nowadays, because of computers, things like that, they're becoming more and more hunchback, where their kyphotic portion of their spine, their mid-back, starts to hunch over, and it starts to become hyperkyphotic, which means that this, I think, is designed to help reduce that.
Okay.
And so I was actually, right before we jumped on here, I was laying on the ground and testing it out. And first off, it was a little challenging to get the size, because on this setting, this is the lowest setting, it didn't feel like anything. Like you lay down and there's no. I'm gonna try. You keep talking, because I'm gonna have to back away from the microphone. Okay.
But I'm gonna try to adjust this, and if you're watching, you'll see the strain on my face as I try to readjust this.
I think I hurt my finger when I was trying to do it. I
have a blood blister on my thumb from when I first opened it and tried to do it. I got a blood blister on my thumb. It's crazy. Okay, so yeah.
So
explain the
anyhow,
benefits and not,
so as you're laying down on it, you want to adjust it. So I did it on a couple different settings, and you found a good technique of using your chest, your whole body. That's much better. So
I was afraid it was going to pop back and hit me in the face, but
yeah, it'll increase the arch, so that way it increases the amount it stretches when you're laying down on it. But it's pretty flimsy once you lay down on it, and it makes you want to slide from one side to the other. And but here's the thing: is it kind of started to feel good. And when I was laying down on it, to be honest, it started to stretch, and it felt kind of good. But
do this to your spine, what the picture shows
maybe
here?
Maybe not quite of a good stretch like that, but I felt it stretching a little bit. So I can see that, hey, it could potentially help some people. I would say the durability, it's a hard plastic, but it doesn't hard to adjust, and it's kind of flimsy, like you try to slide from one side off to the left or to the right. So that's where I actually grabbed a foam roller, which is fairly basic. It's very inexpensive as well. But you have a lot of other things you can do with it. So I would say, if I was personally going to recommend, I'd recommend maybe more something like this that you can get at your local Target, Walmart,
This
or
is like a
fitness store or
10-inch
anywhere.
long black foam roller that you just tuck under your back. Now, this isn't adjustable.
Correct.
So you're going to want to find one that's the size you want,
Yep.
I guess.
And or there's ways to adjust that too. Like if you are laying on your back, you could stack a couple books up underneath that you're sitting on, and then that will help decrease the angle of how much it's actually
That's a good idea.
Stretching. But you can use that to actually flush out all your muscles in your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes, your arms, your back, all the muscles along your spine. And you can also do the same thing where you're stretching, using it as to stretch that thoracic spine. So that it has a lot of other benefits as well. So I would probably recommend that. And then as you're holding there.
Now, what is this? Now, what is the difference here? This is something we kind of prescribe, right?
Yeah, it's something we recommend for
X-rays
specific people for the lumbar spine. That one's more for, which this stretcher would not work for the lumbar.
Gotcha.
It definitely wouldn't. And also the mold for most people, or the roller would not really work for the lumbar either
Gotcha.
because you have to have a specific, it's the lordotic curve, which is a different angle and curvature. So that's where you have something more dense through here. You can see from a side angle, but depending on where the curve is incorrect in the lumbar or the lower back, is where you would have this to help correct the spine there. And so when we say correct the spine, it's actually you're training it, you're creeping the ligaments is what you call it. Neurologically, when you lay down on it for long enough periods of time and repetitively, it starts to stretch out the ligaments to allow the spine to bend better there where it hasn't been bending for many, many years. And it actually causes arthritis and degeneration and things like that. So if we want to create some mobility or change the structure in the spine, and not only just adjusting, but we want to get more mobility and help the ligaments and tendons be healthier in there. So something like this for some people is really helpful to get a better correction.
Do you know what we charge for this?
I have no idea.
I can't remember
You're supposed
either.
to be the one that knows that.
I don't know off the top of my head. I could look it up real fast, but nobody wants to sit and wait for me to do that. And see, this one says to be used only under the care of your spinal health professional.
Well, the reason that is because, as you can see, where you place this could be very important, and depending on what their x-ray shows would be determined of exactly where we put that underneath their spine. Otherwise, some people have serious conditions in their lumbar spine or even in their thoracic that if you put a wedge underneath one part, you could make it dramatically worse. So it's just important to know where you're putting it.
I got you. So products like this one that we talked about is oftentimes people who have little issues and they feel like they're struggling and they're just trying to kind of self-repair, self-correct.
Yeah.
But some of these items that we showed you as alternatives might be something that is something that is recommended by a professional to say, hey, here's what's going on with this issue, along with adjustments, some of these therapies at home. And I know for sure with this, what we call the dinner roll, Dennerroll, Denneroll, or we say dinner roll sometimes. But these, we actually have video that shows how to use them that we send to patients. And then anytime a patient has questions, we literally just take them into the fitness studio and one of our therapy assistants will physically show them how to do it, what it should feel like, what would feel wrong, how to roll over to get off of it properly so you're not hurting yourself. So there's a lot to these. And I think that you have to be, I'm assuming you have to be careful with something even like this, like multi-level back stretcher. Doing something like this with no supervision may not be the wisest thing for some people, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, that's where the density, especially when you get into something that's going to be causing more correction, it's going to be, you have to build up in it too. Like you can't just go and lay on this for 10 minutes, most people. They got to start slower because the density of the foam, it puts a lot of pressure on the spine.
All right, well, moving on from our back stretching, we have a massager over there that I want you to get. $5 massager.
Look at this guy. This is the one you wanted me to bring batteries, right?
Yes, it's a little gooseneck massager meant to like reach over your shoulder and massage your back. I'm going to go ahead and, you hear that? You can hear it. It's shaking. It's a little vibration massager. I'm going to go work on my neck. And
what I've found is if you put this part of this, it works better.
Oh, that's true. The handle feels better on your neck.
The handle actually vibrates more than the actual end.
Oh, I see. That's where all the that's where all the gear is located, down in the handle. So
which basically feels like your phone vibrating in your pocket. So this is one of those that I would think there's probably not hardly any benefit at all on there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't feel one. I forgot to ask you, what would you pay for this multi-level back stretcher? Is $5 a fair price, or?
Well, hey, $5. I think hey, that's $5 is probably a fair price for this. But this
massager, the batteries didn't work that came in it. It had a little tab in there to save the batteries, so that it would work. I pulled the tab out, still didn't work. Took the batteries out and put them back in. Still didn't work.
We're wasting the cost of those batteries to just show and demonstrate this, which is worth more.
4 AA batteries might cost more than $5. Actually,
the thing is when you're applying pressure, this plastic is so weak. You feel like you're going to snap it.
Absolutely, it felt like when I first got it and was like putting on my back, I was like, I feel nothing. I'm going to have to apply pressure so I can feel something. And see, we have a massage therapist in the office, right? And he's very good at what he does, and I have to tell him, hey, don't be afraid to hurt me, man. Because it's tight back there, man. I got 4 kids. That stuff gets tight. And but this isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, this is tough. And then what's great though, it does have 2 gears. You got gear 1, level. For those listeners.
Then 2, and then nothing.
But it really doesn't increase the intensity. We're gonna be. That's a gag gift.
This is a gag gift
without
for
the batteries.
We're not going to put batteries in it.
It's about as good as it's going to get with or without the batteries.
Exactly. So. I don't recommend this one either.
It's called what is this?
Series 8 Fitness. All of these are actually Series 8 Fitness. Okay. I think that must be Five Below's a deal they have with a company or their brand or something. I don't know. But what would you pay for this?
I would not. I wouldn't.
I was thinking maybe I could use it. Not as like a massager, but just like to grab stuff. It's kind of a hook.
Oh, well.
Like grab something off a high shelf or something like that. Maybe my grandma could use it to reach down and pick stuff up off the floor. It probably not even that. Yeah. I'm just trying to give it some grace.
No, I don't think there's a whole lot of value in that one.
I don't think so either. This was I think the most waste of money.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe so.
So an alternative to something like this.
Well, actually, what we use the Hypervolt for if you're going to do like a handgun type massager, and we've had great success with that with a lot of our patients, and we take it home. I took it home last night and I brought it back before the day started. So but it has 3 different levels, and they can be different heads on it, and it lasts. I mean, we have no affiliation. It's just personally what we've used in the office, and we've really liked it. It's lasted a long time, and been successful for one of those hand massagers to help decrease inflammation. Any kind of massage is beneficial, increasing circulation and decreasing inflammation. And
I think those are a few $100s, right?
Yeah.
And we actually have a miniature version of something like that that we got actually at Christmas a couple years ago, and it's lasted and it works. It does lower power for sure, but it's got adjustable or changeable heads, and it does what that does at a lower speed, I guess, lower intensity.
Yeah.
But it's definitely better. And we have a more expensive vibrating massager thing too. That's basically retired. We don't use that thing. We just use what's that? Percussive massage, I guess is what they call it. We use that instead. It feels like it does a lot more. So
very good.
But yeah, so you don't even have to spend $400. I think you can find something, more. I think that one was at like TJ Maxx or something they bought for. I think the limit was $25 on the gift.
Wow.
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And my thing was,
you get some benefit. 25.
It'll last as long as it lasts, and then hey, it was only $25.
There you go.
But those Hypervolts, I know if something's wrong, you send it in, they'll fix it, and it's worth the money.
I think
for
it's
sure.
around $300, but I don't know.
Yeah, especially if you're doing something like you guys do, using it on patients all the time, and it's right there at the adjustment podium. So anyway, we're gonna give this. Series 8 Fitness Vibration Gooseneck Massager
somebody's stocking
0 out of 0 stars.
0, 0.
Yeah, a stocking stuffer for somebody you were not a fan of.
Right.
All right. So that's the second one. The third one, you can pick whichever one of those things you want.
Okay. I guess we'll.
The posture trainer. Oh, is the other one stuck to it? They both have Velcro. So.
Posture trainer, and let me get the box.
Posture trainer. Yeah.
You can kind of visually see what this maybe is supposed to do here. I tried to get on. I couldn't get it on. Maybe you can get it on.
Okay, let me try while you explain what people that are listening are looking at.
It kind of looks like the bra straps. I would say, and then you wear it, and and it's designed to help pull the shoulders back. Okay, which that can be helpful. Oh, you did a good job of getting that on there. Is it? But I noticed it's supposed to be one size fits all. And
I think I've maxed.
We're not really that big of guys.
I think I've maxed out the length for the Velcro.
The Velcro is, you got to really pull, and there's barely any holding on. Yes, I think it could be a benefit potentially for someone. It's not real sturdy, but it is beneficial to help bring the posture back. But what I've found more effective than a posture trainer is, because as soon as you take that off, guess what your posture wants to do?
Go right back to where it was.
It wants to go right back. So if we stretch out the muscles, which is kind of like what the posture trainer is trying to do a little bit, but if we can really focus on stretching out the tight muscles that are drawing the shoulders in, and then strengthen the muscles that are actually drawing the shoulders back, then it has a tendency to want to stabilize and hold much longer, and do a better job for lifelong.
Yeah. I mean, a trainer, I guess you would have to that's the other thing. This didn't come with instructions either, right? It's just
Maybe
the empty box and this. And my question is, okay, so if how long should I wear this, and for how often, how frequent? What should I just wear it always? Should I wear it for 20 minutes a day for a month? See, I don't know.
Yeah,
there's
good
nothing.
question.
There's no information. It seems like something that I just basically donated $5 to Five Below for this, and I don't know. And I do feel it keeping my shoulders back.
Uh-huh.
I definitely felt that. And if I tightened it, I'd feel it even more. Probably too much at some point, right?
Right.
But I don't know how far I should be. I feel like something like this, I should have somebody going, okay, this is where you should be. So here's the level that you want to keep it at. Keep it at a level 1 or buckle it at a level 3, whatever it might be. And then I know this is where it should be, instead of this.
Or if you crank it as tight as you can and it starts cutting off the circulation to your arms, and people are maybe wondering, is that am I supposed to feel that?
Right.
Or not feel that anymore?
Yeah. Should my fingers be numb or not? Yeah, that's
right.
I don't know. I feel like that the stuff like this is stuff that should be just like the back stretcher. Something like this is something I feel like should be used with some sort of guidance, and even, I was looking for a QR code or a website that'll have a PDF for instructions. There's nothing. I guess for $5, you get what you get.
Right.
But I think I could probably rig one of a couple of my belts to do what this does.
Right.
For free. It's a simple, or a backpack.
Oh yeah.
Just put my backpack on and I don't know, fill it full of weights or something.
Yeah. So I would say maybe a 1.
Okay.
$1 out of 5?
A 1 out of 5? Would you pay $1 for it? Would you pay $5? Do you think $5 was worth it?
I wouldn't, because I wouldn't use it.
Yeah, sure.
But someone, if the right person has the right fit and the need, I can see, maybe it's worth $5.
Honestly, the most impressive part of this is this section in the middle here that would be in the middle of your back. It's nicely stitched and kind of fake leather. It looks comfortable. You're not going to feel it where it sits on your back. It's basically in the spot where your body comes away from it because it pulls your shoulder blades back. But it looks nice there. That looks decently crafted, stitched there. I don't know. And I assume companies like this, they buy these things from these crate loads, and then they cram their logo on it and put it in a box and ship it to the store.
Right.
I figure that's kind of how this stuff goes.
I don't know.
I don't know for sure.
We got one more.
We got one more. We got one more thing, and we're gonna have to wrap up the episode. We've been having fun. I didn't realize we've been over 20 minutes already.
Okay, so the last one, hot and cold knee wrap, same company. So one size fits all again, and you can see the logo. If you can see that, okay. Mm-hmm. Actually, I kind of like the material on this one, and the Velcro is kind of weaker. I don't know how long that would actually last.
Sure, yeah.
Long,
you may have 100 uses or something, and then it's done.
And it's still kind of cold. It was in the freezer for a little while.
About a half hour. I wasn't able to get it in there too early today. So.
Yeah, it's got a little gel pack in here, and so I can see it can have some benefit if you have your patella or your kneecap is sore. Because that's about all the size that it's going to be doing. I put this on, and it's a very small surface area. Yeah. So most people that have knee issues, we need to ice more of the knee. So that's where my challenge with this one is it's just such a small little ice pack. And then didn't know if the Velcro would be able to hold up very well. But if the Velcro holds and you've got a sore kneecap, maybe some patellar tendonitis right there at the very front, hey, this could be a great thing for you.
Or if your 8-year-old kid with a small knee, small leg,
there you
has
go.
an injury, this is like a youth size ice pack.
That's more like it. Yeah, that's what I would say. This would be
or
more
you're just
beneficial
a small person, a smaller person.
Yeah. A couple other options to maybe think about, like just to do a size comparison.
Oh yeah, perfect. We have something we've
got we want to pull the
Yes,
gel out of that one, and then we have this one here that you can kind of wrap the knee around, and but there's just a little bit different size difference to make sure to get the front and the side and the back of the knees, the knee. So this has been very effective for a lot of people. But this ice pack too, a lot of people use for their backs because they can get their whole back.
This thing,
their
just
neck
for those listening, this thing's about 10 inch by probably 8 inch or maybe 12 inch by 8 inch. It's pretty good size. Yeah. Rectangular ice pack, or hot or cold, I think. It's called a comfort pack because you can put it in the microwave or something too. So this one's real good. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this right on my tailbone right now.
Okay, you probably need that.
Fell down my stairs a week ago or so.
Yeah, you've been babying that for a while.
I know.
This is the second time
This is barely going to cover. This would barely cover my tailbone. This little blue one.
Yeah, maybe that's the one you need.
Maybe it's a perfect tailbone-sized ice pack.
I was going to show you one more too on the freeze sleeve. We've been kind of experimenting with these and actually been enjoying it. There's a sleeve gel type, and it'll stretch around. You can have it on your elbow or your knee, but it's really easy because you don't need to wrap anything. You just slide it up, and then
like a sock or something.
Yeah, and one thing, it won't over freeze it because like sometimes the ice pack itself, if you leave it on too long, you don't really want to leave it on over 20 minutes in most situations, and because it'll still stay cold, and you could over ice and kind of actually start to reverse the whole process. What you're trying to do is to constrict the blood vessels to decrease that inflammation. But if you leave it on too long, then all of a sudden then the body says, man, this is not warming up, and it can actually start dilating the blood vessels and flood the area to warm it up. So that's why you don't want to over ice. But anyway,
gotcha.
But so this one, it runs out of its cold effect, after 20 minutes. So you don't really have to worry too much about it over freezing, and then you just throw it back in the freezer and you can use it again and again. So anyway, this freeze sleeve, you may want to check it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've been pretty happy so far with it.
Cool. So the ice packs are huge here. We recommend them a lot. Patients will have soreness. We've talked about being sore after an adjustment. We've talked about that sort of stuff, and we recommend ice packs a lot.
And why would they be sore after an adjustment?
Well, because your body is typically, the muscles around your spine are used to applying a certain amount of pressure. And when you make an adjustment, you change that, right? Mm-hmm. And that can cause inflammation and can cause stiffness and soreness because you've released the tension in the spine and caused those muscles to inflame a little bit because of that.
Yeah,
that's
good.
You did a
good job. I would say 1 out of 5. No, just kidding.
No, that's a $5 explanation right there, Dr. Michael.
But basically to kind of summarize what you said was, when your spine has gotten used to a position for so long, most people don't get sore after an adjustment.
Yeah.
But there are a select few that do, and usually it's because the problem's been there for so long. When we adjust, the muscles, ligaments, tendons, all that has been used to that position for so long, and that's where it can cause some soreness. Just like if you go to the gym and you work out and you're like, oh my gosh, I have not used these muscles in a long time, or I haven't done this particular workout, you can be more sore in that area. So what do is you put some ice on it to help flush out the lactic acid and help it recover. And that's the same thing after an adjustment, is you can help do that if you are sore, to flush that out, help it recover. So
yeah, the ice will help with that. And sometimes you recommend alternating heat and ice, right?
Yeah, depending on what's going on, if it's more of a joint, muscle, things like that, different situations. And sometimes people will respond differently too.
Yeah, true. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for looking at this stuff with me. This was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm happy we did this. We'll probably do something like this again. If you guys find some stuff that you want us to talk about or look at, if we get 2 or 3 or 4 things.
We'd love to rate it.
We'd love to rate some
We need
stuff.
to have a real good rating
Yeah, we
scale.
got to create a real one. This was just kind of like off the cuff. Let's just look at these products together. But if you guys recommend something, we'll look at it. info@hillfamilychiropractic.com, or you can just comment on YouTube or Facebook on the videos that we have there. But thank you, Dr. Hill, for looking at this stuff with me.
You bet.
And thank you all for watching and for listening. And again, you can subscribe. You can like us on Facebook. You can like this video on YouTube and subscribe there as well. You can subscribe on anywhere you listen to podcasts and leave us a review. Tell people that you enjoy listening to Stronger, Healthier, and Happier. And we will see you on the next episode. Goodbye.
Very good. See ya.